Back here on MediaCom Channel 22, the Columbia College Coaches Show. My name is Cosmo with the head coach of the 17-3, 4-1 in the conference, Columbia College Cougars, and again, number 25 in the latest NAIA poll that came out here this week. Upcoming for you guys, what was going to be a one-game week this week, obviously with the makeup game at MoBAP, get a win under your belt. Now, quick turnaround as Harris Stowe comes to town at Southwell Complex on Thursday night.
Our week did get compressed, Cosmo, and probably the guys like that. You know, they like playing games, I think, a little bit more than on the practice court. So we'll have a game, practice, a game, a practice, and another game, which is not unlike our postseason tournament. So, you know, I think from that standpoint, it's pretty decent preparation for that. Harris Stowe is, I think, going to be a formidable opponent. They are very athletic. They played a really strong schedule, so their record's not real strong right now. But they've done some impressive things with their team. I think they're very controlled. I think they're very athletic. They've got a couple of guys that can score in bunches. And so, you know, I think they're a dangerous team, much like Missouri Baptist is. And then William Woods on Saturday, and that's an area game. Over the years, it's kind of turned into an area rival, and I know there'll be a big crowd there. Certainly on the women's side, that's they're both at the top of the league, and there'll be a lot of interest in that game as well.
Yeah, their women's team, number 14, sorry to interrupt you, and then Mike Davis and the Lady Cougars at number 23, and both undefeated in conference. At this, knock on wood, that'll still be the case, at least for us, for the Cougars, at least for that Saturday. But yeah, quite an opening act to lead into you guys on Saturday afternoon.
Well, our experience lately has been that that game is drawn really well, and we do play double headers, and so there's a ton of excitement in the gym, and a lot of people in the facility, and not much oxygen. So by the time we get on the court, you know, a lot of that oxygen's been used up in the facility, and but that's the fun. It's a fun part of college basketball and college athletics to go into environments, to travel around to different places. It's close enough where our fans can go and watch as well. And we'll take a 20-minute road trip any day.
Most definitely. And then that'll wrap up then at that point, after the Woods game, you have played everybody in conference at least once. Do you guys kind of break the whole season and the conference season down into pieces? I know I've heard, you know, head coach Todd Haley of the Chiefs talks about breaking the full 16-game season down into 4 quarters of 4 games. And is that a strategy at all with the conference play? You know, now the second time around, it's a completely different mindset because, as you said, more tape on teams, and you've already played everybody at least once.
It does change because, you know, you're going to play some of these teams 3 times, and so that is the difference in conference play. I can't look ahead like that.
One game.
I'm like hourly, Cosmo, so I don't, you know, I'm just worried about what's right out in front of us. We typically don't spend much time in prep except for the game that's right out there in front of us. And I think, as we've talked about before, really our focus is to prepare our team for everything. And we hope that over our non-conference season and just in learning basketball that we really are prepared for all different types of things that you might encounter. But you do march your way through a season, and it is a campaign once you get into conference play, because you have a first round, then you turn around and do it again. And as I've said before, teams change. Sometimes in our game and over the length of the season, it's very important when you play a team, because you know, a Tuesday last week, you know, maybe everybody wasn't healthy, maybe everything wasn't right, and now all of a sudden you play them 2 weeks later, and they're, you know, a lot different, and they're evolving as well. And so I think one of the things that has been helpful for me, particularly this year, is both of our assistant coaches, Sean Dooley and Drew Griselli, you mentioned earlier, are very familiar with the league. And they understand the teams in our league. They've been tracking them throughout the year. And so our scouting, I think, is at a real high level. And I think that helps as we, you know, try to plan ahead. They are a little bit more.
You let them plan ahead, and you worry about 20 minutes.
They're a little bit more forward-looking than I am. Yeah.
Head coach Bob Burchard, as he mentioned, his assistants Sean Dooley and Drew Gazella on the assistant sideline for Coach Bob Burchard. We'll have him on for you next. We'll let you meet him, and then we'll bring the coach back out too as the coaches show continues here on Mediacom Channel 22.